Hey there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your reading for quarter one, the next 3 months of 2026. This is January, February, and March. You have this seduction card. It says passion, pleasure, temptation, beauty, attraction, chemistry, flirting, play, sexual intrigue, mating dance. You have this gift of money. It says sudden financial change, windfall, small monetary increase, small win, quick turnaround, joy over money. I love that for you, Sagittarius. Definitely very good. So it could be some sort of increase in your finances. I kind of feel like you are like seductive to money. So you could be attracting money just by being in the right energy, right? And that's definitely something I would think about. Like if there's any, I always tell people it's like tarot doesn't just happen. Tarot can't do anything for you, right? So you have to work with the energy, and I make it a point to say that. So again, you can do things to enhance this energy, right? Go learn about like what energy you need to be in to manifest money. Go learn new money habits, because learning that will improve your money situation, which will have you probably attracting more money. Go do better things with your money. Go be around wealth, right? And that doesn't have to be wealth of money. That can be the wealth of feeling happy. That could be the wealth of being around good people, all that other stuff. So, again, I would be doing something to make sure that happens. You start here with the Justice card, the King of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. Again, your first row is going to represent how to have the best start to the year. And so the Justice card is about balance, of course, and justice. You being the opposite of Gemini, I definitely feel kind of like having a neutral perspective this year is going to be very important for you, not just the first quarter, but for the next 7 years until 2033, right? Having a neutral perspective, which means that you take in information, you take in things that you learn, and you don't like assume that that it's going to work or not, or that it's going to be good or not, right? You just are neutral on everything, and be willing to try everything that you learn. And the things that work, obviously, do more of that. The things that don't work, throw it in the trash, right? Plain and simple. It's probably one of the, really, I'm jealous. I wish I was a Sagittarius for the next 7 years, because, again, I think that energy is going to be very beneficial for you and Gemini. Luckily, I'm a Gemini moon, and I'm a Sag midheaven, so I kind of do get a little bit of the benefit. But, again, I'm a little bit jealous, Sag. Next, you have the King of Wands. Again, this first row is representing how to have the best start to the year, to the quarter. And so just being yourself is probably good enough with the King of Wands. Again, you probably have one of the easier readings as far as these quarterly readings are concerned, especially with this card, because it's just saying like being your fiery self, being bold, confident, assertive is going to be the thing that gives you the best start. Next, you have the Knight of Wands. Being willing to build. I'm pretty sure that you get the Knight of Wands with me a lot. And I do look at the Knight of Wands as Sagittarius, so, it kind of makes sense. But, this could be you. But I kind of feel there are two important things here. Being willing to explore. Again, we were talking about how you're going to get all these crazy new ideas for many years to come. And so, there's a difference between like overcommitting to something and trying something. And, I feel that, number one, that's probably something that you will learn during Uranus and Gemini, is that not all ideas are good ideas, but also you have to try to figure that out, right? Like unfortunately, we don't just get an idea and it just works, right? We have to actually do it to see. So you're going to be learning balance for sure. Even though, we normally consider Libra to be balanced, you have Libra right there with the Justice card. So again, this is a lesson you're going to learn, but I'm going to make it easier for you to learn. The trick is to invest like a little bit more than you normally would into anything new that you're doing, but not more than that, right? So I think what I've said to other people is it's a time where we have to take 2 steps instead of 1, right? 2 steps, it's like a little bit more than you would normally invest into a new situation, but it's not so much that you're over investing or you're burning yourself out, right? So that's my rule. I'm not even a Sagittarius, like I said, but that's going to be my rule during Uranus and Gemini. Uranus technically enters Gemini in April, but I would start now, right? Uranus has already been in Gemini. So taking 2 steps. Number 2, the next thing that you need to be willing to do is build. You're probably not going to have everything that you need to get started. The Knight of Wands doesn't care. He's excited by a mystery. That's what those 3 pyramids behind him represent. And he wants to explore the mystery. If he gets to a river, he's going to build a bridge to overcome that river. He will find the materials in the wild, right? As he's going on this adventure. He's not bringing a bunch of wood with him to build the bridge. So that's how we have to operate, right? We probably aren't going to have everything we need to build something to its finished version, but we need to build it as much as we can. And we will get to that finished version if we do that. So there you go. That was a mouthful. Hopefully that made sense. Probably not, but there you go. With the Justice card, you have the King of Swords. Yes, learning from others, very important as well for you fire signs. Neptune and Aries. Neptune and Aries, I think we have to learn a lot, just like Uranus and Gemini, but we have to be careful with what we learn. That's why, again, I think 2 steps is good. I also think, I've said this year, 2025, that trust but verify. The problem with Neptune and Aries is that I think it makes people look for a person who has all the answers. Neptune and Aries wants us, we are the ones that have the answers. Yourself, you, right? And so Neptune and Aries is like, no, you have your own answers on, everything that you're dealing with. So the trick is that we can learn from people, but again, we should probably take 2 steps on the advice that we receive from a person, and we also shouldn't take their word as gospel, right? We should trust but verify. And the other tricky part of it is that it's kind of tricky, I think, because there are also going to be people that we can't trust, but there might be one thing they say that is true. And so we have to have this really good, justice. We have to be good lie detectors, but we also have to realize that just because a person is garbage sometimes some of their advice might work, right? So really, I think what it's about is not creating a king in your head, putting someone on a pedestal. It's about realizing that ultimately all decisions come from you, right? And as long as you do that, you'll be fine. With the King of Wands, you have the Hierophant. A lot of learning going on in this first row. Hierophant is the teacher. So like I said, having teachers is good, but kind of putting into practice what you learn from them is more important. And, that's what I would be doing with that card. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Page of Swords, another card of learning. Page of Swords is the card of curiosity. He is curious about something, so he explores it. And, I think that might be a good energy for you. It's just being an explorer. Just saying, I'm just going to explore my interests this year. I'm just going to explore the things that are standing out to me. I'm not going to make any judgments or anything like that. I'm just going to see how things go, and I'm going to look at the evidence, right? Justice wants us to trust the evidence. If we're working on something and it's working, keep going. Just that simple here, Sag. Next, we're going to look at the best opportunity for you this quarter. You have this Serendipity card and this Round and Round card. Yeah, the Serendipity card is my favorite card in this deck. This girl is being lifted up by a 4-leaf clover. We've talked about luck a lot in 2025 with you, Sagittarius. So the Serendipity card is kind of things happening by chance or, encountering luck and things like that. And I kind of feel you should follow the things that make you lucky. So if something makes you lucky, or if you feel lucky when you're working on a project or something, I would really trust that feeling because it'll probably make you lucky. The Round and Round card, everybody's being asked to bring something to an end. Again, I think we have the end of 2025 and the first quarter of the year to cut something out. The Chinese New Year starts on February 17th or whatever it is. And so, the year of the snake is what we're in right now. We'll be in the year of the horse next year. And so I think the year of the snake is about picking something to leave behind and move past. And I would definitely, with that Round and Round card, if there's anything that's been repeating in your life over and over and over again that is not good, that is what I would remove. You have the Judgment card, the 5 of Wands, and the 7 of Pentacles. Judgment card, as far as an opportunity is concerned, the Judgment card can be an opportunity for a second chance. And I'm pretty sure I said this to you in one of your recent readings. And if I don't remember if I did, but I think I did. And if I did, then I would say this is definitely true, that you could be kind of rebirthing an old idea and making it new again. And I do think that would be a really good thing for you to do. We just had Mercury go retrograde in your sign. and retrograded back into Scorpio, and now it's moved back through your sign, of course, but it's like, even though Mercury obviously still isn't retrograde in your sign, especially in the first quarter, it's going to be well past your sign. It doesn't really matter. I think that was maybe like the first start of thinking about something that you could rebirth. And so if you have been thinking about trying something again, I would definitely do it here, Sag. I think it'll be worth it. Next, you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is an opportunity to rise above the competition. So Five of Wands can be conflict or competition. And what I would say is you have all this stuff about learning in your first row. And the Five of Wands has a very easy solution, which is to learn from the competition and to see what they are not doing. And then to make sure that you are standing out by, filling in the gaps. And I think that could be an amazing opportunity for you this year, to kind of like fill in the gaps. Again, with Uranus and Gemini, you might have all these crazy perspectives. You might have all these different ways that you come up with for like doing your job or for having love or whatever else you want. And I would be embracing those new perspectives, even if it seems like a crazy idea, because that's probably the thing that will set you apart from everybody else that's doing the same thing that you are doing. And if you can do that, that's like a one-way ticket to success here, Sag. I mean, even right next to it, we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is, building and leaving a legacy. It is everything you want and desire. So I would do it. Next, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is my card that says, is the juice worth the squeeze? He's looking at those Seven Pentacles, and he's saying, is it worth it for me to keep working on these Seven Pentacles, or is there something better that I could do with my time? And I feel like you should look at, I think the first few months of the years when I'm trying to spit out here with that round and round card, I would definitely be weighing up your options with that Justice card and, looking at what you spend the most time on every single day and, really figure out, is it worth it or not? And if the answer is no, get rid of it and leave it in 2025. If it is worth it, then obviously keep doing it. And that's what I would do there. With the Judgment card, you have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, excellent time for teamwork for you, for sure. So, if you're, as long as you are in the driver's seat, right? He is the one that is taking the lead on the vision. These people are supporting his vision. So, again, as long as you are the one that's taking the lead on like a project or a work project or something, it is a great time to work with other people. I also kind of feel, I'm pretty sure I've said this to you before as well, that it's like time for you to show your work. And so, it could be time for you to show off. It is an excellent time for everyone to show off, but it is like a little bit extra good for you because Saturn, Neptune, and Aries, Saturn in Aries especially is very loud energy. But we have to be loud in the right ways. We need to brag, but in a good way. Humble brag, whatever you want to call it. So you should be showing off because you are a fire sign, Sagittarius. But also, again, Uranus and Gemini will be giving you these crazy ideas that you should be showing off because it'll make you look like a genius. So time to show off. With the Five of Wands, you have the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is about walking away from things that no longer serve you. So, again, like I said, anything you need to leave behind in 2025, don't be afraid of walking away. I'm kind of hoping we can leave this card in 2025 for you as well, Sag, because you always get this card with me. And, I'm always telling Sagittarius not to settle. And because the Eight of Cups is a card of settling. And, or basically it says don't settle for less. He's walking away from these 8 cups because he would be settling if he stayed. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, Queen of Cups wants you to follow your heart. So, again, with the Seven of Pentacles, if you're not like super passionate about something that you're working on, or if there's no passion at all in something you're working on, that's probably what you should be walking away from. Next, we're going to look at the best way to set yourself up for success this year, in this quarter. You have this card that says work through your fears. You have this card that says balance spirituality and practicality. Yeah, Neptune and Aries. This card is the full moon in Pisces, but definitely with Neptune and Aries, we have to do both. We have to be spiritual, but also practical. So that makes perfect sense. The fear thing, I definitely feel, fortune favors the bold. I've been saying it since the beginning of 2025 that I don't know that it's really a scary time. But I just think it's a doubtful time. I feel that people could be doubtful on like whether or not they can accomplish what they're trying to accomplish. And, that is like the fear that we have to get to the bottom of, I feel. I feel it's a very collective vibe, basically, Sagittarius. You're actually one of the only people that it's shown up for, but I just feel it in the energy, basically. And, so I think we have to get to the bottom of why we are doubting something that we want to do. Or, maybe you're doubting whether or not you can do something. And, I don't really have any good advice other than, I would figure it out, like why you are doubting that you can, live your best life or whatever. And I think if you work on it, you could probably solve it. You have the Ten of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. So obviously this row is amazing. Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family. Ten of Cups, they are imagining these 10 cups above their heads. So probably one of the best ways that you can set yourself up for success this quarter is to start working towards your dream. Ten of Cups is a good card, but those 10 cups exist above their heads. They have to bring those 10 cups down to earth. So taking a step, again, we said this on the Knight of Wands, even if you think you don't have what you need, doing it anyway is the secret with that card. Very good for love as well. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles, I feel, is like you clarifying your vision, basically. Ten of Pentacles is a very good card. Can represent making it rain as well, so very good for money. But the message I'm getting intuitively is that you need to understand like what this is for you. Ten of Pentacles is your ultimate vision for your life. It is the tree of life. It is everything you want and desire. But I think it's always worth it to like, what does that mean to you? Like as in, what does it look like? And I don't know, you're all different. And so one of my favorite exercises is to write down your life on a piece of paper as if it went 110% according to plan. Write out your perfect day. Write out, what would you do if there were no limitations, if nothing could stop you, if nothing could get in your way, what would that day look like? And, I think you need to get clear on that. And the other thing is that I tell people to do the exercise twice. I tell people to go crazy, right? Write down, like if everything were perfect, what would that look like? But then do it again, because what you will find is that that you'll start thinking of other things. It's like I've had people do this and like they'll basically write, I want to be living in Fiji, sipping on margaritas on the beach every single day. And it's like, well, yeah, you might think you want that, but it's like there's more to life, right? So it's like that would be fun for a while, but then it would get pretty boring. So it's like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to go do things? Are you going to have a job? Are you going to work for money? Maybe you are, maybe you aren't. I don't know. You're all different. And so I would really think about it because, again, the card to me is saying to set yourself up for success, you have to know what it looks like so you can work backwards and create it. You have the Two of Cups. Again, these readings weren't meant to be love readings, but, you definitely have love here. So if you want love, absolutely could be a connection coming in for you. You do have that card that says balance, spirituality, and practicality. And the Two of Cups can be you communicating with your higher self. So, anything you can do to communicate more, like meditate, go for walks, listen to your inner voice would be a good idea. With the Ten of Cups, you show up here as the Temperance card. So whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength and allows you to get what you want from the reading, which is great. So just showing up in a strong position. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the High Priestess. Yeah, trusting your intuition. So, your intuition could be guiding you towards your Ten of Pentacles. And, I would really listen. You also have the Hierophant and the High Priestess. These two are divine counterparts. And sometimes I feel like they're better divine counterparts than the Emperor and the Empress. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be a divine counterpart. With the Two of Cups, you have the Ten of Swords. I feel like your higher self could be asking you to let something go. Ten of Swords says something is dead, done, over with. This is very Pluto and Capricorn, basically. Pluto has been in Aquarius all of 2025, but basically it retrograded in May until like October, and it retrograded right to the beginning of Aquarius. So, it's like we kind of haven't really cleared the cusp, basically, of Capricorn and Aquarius, even though we have. Pluto is still very slow moving. So, I really think Pluto going from Capricorn to Aquarius asks us to release something. It's a little bit scary because it's like the energy asks us to release something that has been established in our life for a long time. And, this could be like the beginning of this year, could be when you are actually releasing something. And, Ten of Swords is a blessing in disguise. So he is making a symbol. It's the same symbol the Hierophant is making on his card right here, and it represents a blessing. So letting go of something could actually be a blessing. Next, we're going to look at the best outcome for the quarter. You have this Cancer card. It says Immerse on it. You have this Chiron card. It says Heal on it. Everybody has had some sort of healing card, so yeah, sure, great time for healing. The Cancer card says Immerse on it, right? And I think we've talked about this before, Sag. It's like anything worth doing is going to be worth diving into, and really being passionate about. Queen of Cups, right? Queen of Cups, she really listens to her heart. If her heart is connected to something, she does it. And she goes all the way in. She fully commits to those things. So, if you kind of don't want to do something, you probably don't want to do it. And, I would pay attention to that. You have the Lovers, the Nine of Wands, and the Page of Swords. So definitely could be love for those of you that are looking for it. This could also be talking about the Gemini energy because, of course, the Lovers is Gemini. And so, I would be paying attention to all perspectives that you are gaining at this time. The other thing with the Lovers is that usually we have to pick the new path. So if you are trying to make a decision this quarter, picking the new path might be the best decision. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior, and he is a card of putting up boundaries. Definitely a long-term lesson for you, Sagittarius. I think you have learned to put up a lot of boundaries over the years, and it's like now you're doing it. So I don't know. I really have nothing to add to this because I feel like you're just putting up boundaries against, people that cause problems, issues, people that cause issues, but also situations that could cause issues. So I would just keep doing it. You have the Page of Swords. Definitely a good time for you to be curious, especially with the Knight of Wands as your first card, basically, or one of your first cards. So following that curiosity, looking into mysteries, anything that interests you, anything that intrigues you, learning about it, obviously will set you up for success. With the Lovers, you have the Tower. The Tower actually came up in reverse. I don't read reversals, I read intuitively, but I kind of feel like this could be a surprise. So if you're attracting love, it could be a little bit of a surprise. The Lovers is also about facing reality. The whole point of the Tower is that, the Tower, not the Lovers. But the Tower, they've been ignoring reality, and now they're being brought down to reality. But the funny thing is with the Lovers, it could basically say that you are accepting some sort of reality in your life, and you're just quickly making a new decision. So, don't be surprised if you make a rapid choice this quarter and decide to move your life in a different direction, and that's what I feel there. Here you go. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Star. Wouldn't even worry about the Tower. The Star comes up after the Tower. The Star represents healing from a Tower moment. So you could be healing from a past Tower moment. You could also just be healing some sort of trauma in general, which would obviously be a good thing. The Star is also about having a North Star goal, having one goal that you focus on, that you set out to accomplish, which, I'm a big fan of that for everyone. We have Saturn moving into Aries, and Saturn in Aries basically wants everyone to start something and finish it, and that's what I would do there. With the Page of Swords, you have the Three of Wands. Yeah, very expansive time for you. We also have Jupiter moving into Leo this year, and even though you're not a Leo, doesn't matter. You're a fire sign. It's going to benefit you quite a bit. So there are probably going to be a lot of opportunities for you to leave comfort zones and to expand through adventure. And you are a Sagittarius. You love adventure, so there you go. You have this Tiger card. It says doing something risky, taking a chance. Yes, definitely. Five of Wands, right? Five of Wands, we can just feel conflicted about something because it's a risk. So take those risks. You have this key. It says successful outcome to your problem. Love it. Definitely seems to me like you're solving a lot of problems. I actually feel this could be that Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands, like I said, is putting up boundaries. So you could be overcoming issues that have to do with having boundaries with people or needing to, block things out. And so obviously that would be a good thing. You have this Pig. It says beware of greed. Yeah, definitely all this fiery energy again, Saturn, Neptune, and Aries, Jupiter moving into Leo. I would be careful of any greed just in general. On top of that, again, Uranus switching signs from Taurus. Uranus in Taurus does not like greed. Uranus in Taurus is get rich slow, right? So Uranus in Taurus sometimes tests us, and it can bring us opportunities that look like they're going to be very successful, but the intention behind it is what's important. Like if we're doing it just to make money, it's probably not going to work. So even though Uranus is leaving Taurus in April, this entire quarter, it'll still be in Taurus. So, make sure your intentions are pure. You have this clouds card. It says temporary problems. Yeah, it's like the one little hiccup this year that I think could stop people is those like little problems that pop up that remind you of an old problem. So if you're working on something, basically don't give up, especially if there's like a little issue that pops up. It's probably just a little issue. It's not going to turn into some sort of disaster. You have this older man. It says dealings with relationships with an older man. You have this table. It says hard work ahead. Could be you just putting in the work. I'm not calling you an old man, Sagittarius, but the King of Swords says you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom, and you could be putting that into work to find success. So this looks amazing, Sag. Thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment down below, and definitely enjoy your quarter.